Hi guys, girls, non-pineapples. Welcome to Budget with Ira. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and today I'm introducing a new series that I hope to do with you, and I hope it goes well and I hope you enjoy it. I have had plenty of requests from people to say, please look at my budget, please help me out with my spending and things like that. And I've always been really reluctant to do it because, Bestie, I am not a financial advisor. I am not going to give out financial advice. I'm not going to do that because I would hate for you to make a decision based off of what I say and it might not be the right thing for you. So I've been really reluctant, but I've decided to do this because people do want to hear my opinion. I don't know why. So I created a form on Google Docs, and in a live a couple of days ago, I asked people to just enter a little bit of anonymous information. And that information I'm using to create a budget that I think might be appropriate for that person. So this information is completely anonymous. I don't know who it's coming from. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a budget based off of what I believe is the appropriate thing to do. This is not financial advice. This is what I might do should I be in that situation. So let's get on to today's video. So we are doing a budget for someone whose circumstances have recently changed. They say that their main financial goal is to get a better handle on their money because they just recently changed their job. So they've got 3 kids, 2 need a little bit more support than others. So they used to be a full-time teaching assistant and now they are a full-time carer. 2 of their kids are at home being homeschooled and 1 is away. So let me just talk you through a couple of bits. So they've listed their outgoings and we're going to go through that within the video. One of their kids has sensory issues and 1 has ADHD, another has a gluten-free diet which could impact the budget as well. And this is the thing that they've put down at the bottom, so let me read this to you. So single mum, 3 kids, 2 living at home, youngest is 11, homeschooled due to school not coping with him, in receipt of DLA, oldest has mobility issues, partly sighted and on a full PIP. So now on a full-time carer for him due to his health issues, gone from full-time wage as a teaching assistant to universal credit and carer's allowance. Rent is paid in full by housing, straight to the landlord. No idea where to start cash stuffing and saving, quite new to it all. The middle child in military college, so away for 6 weeks. They come back every 2 weeks. And then need to pay £159 every 6 months for rail travel. So there's quite a lot on there, but there's a couple of things that alarm me. So in terms of their bills, so their gas, their electric and their groceries, they have no budget for it. They just spend. So there is 0 budget for it. And that doesn't mean there's no money for it. There's money for it, but they're just buying what they need. So when a sensory item breaks, they're just replacing. When the kid is a bit too rough with a pair of headphones, they're just replacing it because that's what the kid needs. So there's a lot of things that I need to look at within this budget. There is a little bit of debt here as well, so we need to look at that too. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. I can already see very, very quick wins, but yeah, just another really quick disclaimer before I go ahead and do this is that I'm doing this based off of assumptions. I've only got a certain amount of information in front of me, and also I'm not walking a mile in your shoes, so I don't know what's valuable and what's really important to your home and your family. So I might make a sweeping decision based off of what I know, but that's why this is good, because this is not financial advice. So please take this with a pinch of salt. This is just what I might do, but let's go ahead and let's get budget investing. Okay, let's get on top of this. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to lay out what the current budget looks like. Let's go ahead and start with the current budget. So first of all, there's 5 streams of income, so they don't actually fit in here, but I'll still put them down. So first one is, oh, you can't even see. Hold on, let me move this. First of all, we've got universal credit, and that is £306 a week, which in a 4-week month, that's going to be £1,224. And then there's child benefit, which is £36 a week, which works out as £144 a month. And then there is child allowance, which is £67 a week, which works out as £268. And then there's 2 more other things. So there is the DIR, which is £345 for the month, and the PIP, the PIP, which is 627. Okay, so all of that altogether comes up to 2,608, which sounds like a lot, but as a single parent with 3 kids who need them, it's like, just watch it evaporate, right? So let's go for bills. So first off, this person has a Sky bill. Now they said that it's like, it includes a lot of stuff. So that is £100, and then the car insurance is £81.45. They have a Ring doorbell, which costs £3.49, and that's just the subscription to use the platform. And then they have mobile phones for them and their 2 children, which come up to £30. And then food waste, not sure what that actually is, but food waste is a £5. And then Warcraft, which I assume is World of Warcraft, which is like a computer game, is £9.99 a month, and that's like a subscription service. And then VR, which I'm assuming is like a headset thing, probably a subscription service as well, is £40 a month. And then the internet they have is £29. And then all the pet food, so I guess in like a dragon or an iguana or something, and then a cat, so pet food, so I'm just put pets, is £53.46. Yeah, and then there's train fare that she mentioned that has to be done every 6 months for a return. So we'll put that in as a bill because at the moment it's not being saved for. So train fare is £159. So all of that is basically the bills. Yeah, it all comes up to £491.39, which from their income leaves them with £2,116.61. And that's my understanding of their finances in terms of bills. Now, I'm going to put this down as envelopes, but they're, what I'd eventually want them to have as envelopes. So let's put these down. So gas and electric, they say that they pay on they pay using like a key, and they just top it up. They have no idea how much it is. So I'm going to assume if it's anything like mine, it's about 180. Now, if it's higher, like it might be higher. And then there's petrol travel. They don't say like how much they're using or anything like that. But the kids aren't at school, they're all homeschooled, so I assume it's like weekends out and stuff like that. So let's just say they're spending 200. I don't know. And then food, they do not budget. They don't budget it whatsoever. So I don't know. So let's say 800, because I think that's still a lot, but it's still reasonable. And then they said as soon as something sensory breaks for one of their kids, they completely just replace it immediately. So let's just say that costs them £100 a month. Don't know. So that comes up to 1,280, which leaves them with 836.61 for the month. Now there are no sinking funds that they've listed. They said that they've saved up £50 already. Let's have a look at their debt. So there are various debts. So the first one is loan number 1, and that is the only loan. The minimum payment is £120 a month, and it looks like they're paying the minimums. And then the rest, they've listed debtors and things like that, but that's not like any of our business. But they look like they're on a sort of repayment plan for a lot of them. So it's like £10 a week for one and £1 a week for a load of others. So that does come up to £64. So all of that altogether comes up to £184, which leaves them with £652.61. Now, where that money goes, I don't know. Okay, so they were saying about how their issue is impulse spending and stuff like that, but like where the bills are taken care of in a certain way, they must be spending much more than that on food. Potentially they're spending more than that on sensory stuff. Potentially they're spending more on gas and electric. Like who knows where their money is spending. So that is their current budget. I have a feeling that quite a lot of this budget is being sort of wasted away. Potentially it's going on things that they need as a household, but it's not like tracked. I don't think there's anybody that's like going, oh, do we need this and stuff like that. And I think we definitely need to have a look at some of these bills as well, because if I was this person, I've been considering cutting some of these down because some of them just don't seem necessary. But let's take this off and let's go and do a new budget based off of the information that I know. So let's do a new budget based off of a 4-week month, yeah? So the income isn't going to change. So that was 2608, yeah? So that's their income, that's not going to change. Now, the first thing that I would change, because there's a lot of stuff that you can do within this bills category to make a change. And I'm not necessarily going to put them within this budget because I don't know how important some of these things are. Like, this person's children have particular needs. So messing with their day-to-day stuff and their schedule might not be the right thing, but it might be something that this person might want to consider. So the first thing that I would do is I'd completely remove Sky. I don't think you need to be spending £100 a month on Sky. It seems ludicrous because you're getting Sky TV, you're getting Netflix and Disney, and then like some like phone options. So unless you're making like a ton of calls, because yes, I get you're a single parent at home, you might want to speak to people, but you do have a mobile phone, and the deals that you can get on mobile phones in terms of unlimited minutes and stuff like that, I don't think you need the package that you've got for Sky. So what I would do is I would completely get rid of that. And if Netflix and Disney Plus are really important to you and your family in terms of how you calm your children down and what they need to get through the day, I'd probably just get separate subscriptions for them. So instead of paying the £100, I would get a Netflix and a Disney Plus subscription. Now, do you even need these? Don't know, but Netflix is $9.99. You can even get that less, but I'm assuming you're going to want it on more than one device. And then Disney Plus is $7.99. So that is like an £80 saving, like straight away. Like, you're immediately saving that. Now, if this isn't the right thing for you, don't do it. Maybe Sky is really important, but there's nothing wrong with digital TV. There's nothing wrong with CBeebies. Like, do you actually need all of that Sky stuff? Like, is it important and valuable and necessary for your family? Car insurance. Unless you passed literally a year ago, there's no way you should be paying $81.45 unless you've like had like a ton of accidents and stuff like that. That seems ludicrous. They did mention that their renewal was in 6 months, and I would be looking at, based on, you know, things that I know, you should be looking at sort of £20 to £30. Like, that seems ridiculous. Unless you literally passed a year ago and you've had crashes, I wouldn't do that. Your mobile seems like a good deal, but because you are potentially, if I were you, if I was removing all of those phone packages from my Sky thing, you might want to just make sure that you've got unlimited minutes on your mobile, because that's pretty standard these days. Food waste, I don't know what that is. I'm going to put it in because I don't know if it's important or something that you have to do or something like that. So I'm going to put it in, but I would probably consider whether that's actually adding value and whether you need it. Now, the next two are the Warcraft and the VR. Now, I would want to consider if they were absolutely necessary, because especially the VR, maybe the Warcraft's fine, but especially the VR, £40 a month seems a lot of money. But is this something that your children specifically need to get through the day? Like, is it really, really important to their development and all of that stuff? So if it's just entertainment and it's not necessarily, I would potentially cut at least VR. And then internet is $29. I would definitely shop around because I think you can get it cheaper than that. Just look on comparison websites and just see what you can get. I don't think you should be paying much more than £15 for internet. Like, I've got super fast internet for a tenner. Like, I don't think you need to pay that much, but it depends on your area and stuff like that. And then pets, I'm going to leave the number the same because your pets are your pets. They need to eat what they need to eat. I would definitely make significant cuts in this Sky. I don't think it's necessary. I would shop around for a mobile phone, making sure that I've got the best deal with the best plan. Car insurance, definitely change that. Food waste, is it necessary? Warcraft, is it necessary? VR, is it necessary? Internet, shop around again. And do you need to pay that much? Is that literally what they cost? I don't know. You might be able to take savings, but we're talking pence. The real money saving is in this Sky bill here. So that brings your bills to $266.89, which leaves you with $2,341.11. Okay, so let's have a look at envelope. So your gas and electric costs what your gas and electric costs, but what I would potentially do is like pay a bit more attention to it. So I'm gonna just put 180. I don't know how much it's going to cost you, like in honesty. So it's 180 divided by 4, £45 a week. So if you find you're putting more than £45 a week onto your meter, consider, if it is your own home, can you change it so that you don't have a meter? Because I think you pay more with the keys, but potentially just have a look at that. But if you're spending more than £45 a week on gas and electric, just change the budget. There's not much you can do about the prices for gas and electric. So that's that. Petrol, I think you should also pay attention to how much you're driving. I'm still gonna budget £200 a month on petrol, because I don't know, with your children having the needs that they do they have to go and see people regularly and stuff like that. So I would potentially look at that and see how it is. Food, you need to put yourself on a budget. You need to know how much you're spending on food. So I'm saying £200. I think for 4 people, one of which has a dietary requirement, probably all of them have dietary requirements, like knowing that what their needs are, £200 is doable, like really, really doable. But if you've got really super fussy kids and you just want them to have a good meal, sometimes just paying that little bit extra is worthwhile. So I would definitely limit yourself to £200 a week. I would cash stuff it, and I would go to the supermarket and be really specific about what I'm buying. I would never go there blindly and just buy what I fancy. No way. And you're not talking really about how much money you're giving yourself each week. I think you need to really rein it in. With that, so you say that you're impulse buying and stuff like that. Some people just are impulse buyers, but if you give yourself £160 a month, which is £40 a week, buy whatever you want, impulse all you like, but never go over that 40. Yeah, so that's what I would do, something like that. All of that's your sort of like monthly sort of spending, comes up to 1340. Now obviously those numbers, I don't know your like exact circumstances. Potentially you don't need as much petrol as that. Sometimes you need more gas and electric than that. So play with that as you can, but it's time to start paying attention to how much you're spending on those. That gives you 1,111. Okay, so these are the sinking funds that I would do if I was in your situation. You spoke about your son coming back from military and how they have train fare, and you just pay it like the return ticket every 6 months. I would be putting that into a sinking fund. So to lose 160 quid every 6 months out of the blue, I just don't think that's really doable. So the train fare, I would do this. So I would put £30 a week, £30 a month into a sinking fund for train fare. 30 times 6, let's do this, 30 times 6 is 180. So you're going to have leftover, but it means that you're never surprised by it, so that when they do come home, it's not an issue to buy it, yeah? And then what I would do is, you were saying how you just replace sensory items. That's fine. If that's what you need to do as a family, that's fine. But what I would do is start a sinking fund so that when they do break, you can take from that, rather than just taking it from your like total money. Yeah, so I would start a sinking fund, putting £50 in a month, and as and when things break, take from that, rather than taking from like the main money, if that makes sense. You don't talk about any sort of savings that you have. You say that you just started and you saved £50. I would definitely start doing birthdays. So kid 1 birthday, and I'd probably give them £40 a month. Now, to some people that might seem excessive, but for kids with the needs that this person's kids have, 40 times 12, so if you do £40 a month, you're going to end up with £480 per child per birthday. Now that does seem like a lot of money for a birthday, but potentially they might have a special type of soft play that they need. They might have, you know, sometimes things like that just cost more. So potentially that might be the right thing to do. So I'd be putting away for that so that it just becomes stress-free. You don't have to worry about how am I going to pay for the party, how am I going to pay for all of this and all of that. If you've got a good 500 quid ready to go for each birthday, that's going to work out. Christmas, you need to take the headache away, honestly. You probably need to say something like £100 a month. That'll give you £1,200 by the end of the year, and that would, you know, I don't know what your costs are or anything like that, but like that's something that I'd be considering doing. Just have a nice Christmas together. And the thing that you haven't really factored in is any sort of self-care. Like, you're a single parent with 3 kids with a lot of needs. and you need to take time to do stuff. So what does self-care look like to you? It might be having a bath, but it might be bloody getting 3 babysitters in so you can just go out with the girls. Do you know what I mean? It might be something like that. So I'd be starting to save a pot so that you can afford those things. So if you want to go out on a night on the tiles with the girls or whatever you want to do, and you need more than one babysitter to take care of your kids, like start saving up for it so that everybody's taken care of. But you need to put on your own face mask first. So I would do those as thinking about. There's obviously other things to think about. So what about when your kid comes home from the military? There's obviously going to be more food spend, so you might want to start saving a buffer for that. Now moving down to debt, so there's your various and your loan, yeah? Let's lump that into one, yeah? So I wouldn't approach those lenders who have agreed a £1 a month thing with you. I wouldn't even approach them. If they're happy with £1 a month, then keep it on £1 a month. It might weigh on you, so you might want to consider paying it off. But this is the strategy that I would do, yeah? So those are your minimums. That's £184, yeah? And then what I would do is I'd just snowball. You need to get rid of that loan, in my opinion. So I would snowball £250. It seems like an awful lot of money, but I would overpay my loan by £250. You owe £15,000, yeah? It brings your total to 434. It's a lot to put towards debt, but honestly, with this strategy, that's probably potentially that's why you're in debt, because you've gone, oh, I need to sort out this kid's birthday, let's just chuck it on a loan or whatever. I don't know what your circumstances are, but I would probably be focusing on paying down this so that you can do the best you can. Does that make sense? So if you are paying down your loan, which is that minimum amount of £120 plus the 250, that is £370. So £370 divided by £15,000 will take you about 40 months to pay down your debt. So that's even with that huge overpayment, yeah? 40 months is 3.5 years. If you do any less, it just will take longer. Now, if paying down debt isn't something that's super important to you, by all means, spend that money on something else and just pay minimums and be in debt. Some people are just quite content being in debt, but this is the approach that I would take. So yeah, that leaves you with £217.11 for that month. And then obviously you've got a savings pot, and you didn't talk about having an emergency. There are plenty of things that could go wrong. And yeah, £200 is what I would do to it, which would leave you with £17.11. Now, obviously, you might want to consider reducing your snowball a little bit to maybe £150 and putting £100 towards a holiday. Holidays are really important for your kids' development and experience that they'll have and stuff like that. But I would start playing around with stuff if I were you. So my sort of top tips, if you are in a situation like this person, is to really consider what is really important for me and my kids and my family. Making sure that you're shopping around, because £81 on car insurance is absolutely ludicrous. There is no mention of a car payment or anything here, so potentially that's all paid off, which would be lovely. Really, if I were you, I would be paying so much attention to how much I'm actually spending on my day-to-day stuff. It just seems like, oh, electrics are nearly going to run out, let's top it up. And you're not really paying attention to how much you're actually spending. So because you're not doing that, the kids aren't turning off lights when they're leaving rooms and stuff like that, and you're just spending whatever, and which is generating food waste. So do you need to spend as much as you are? And really thinking about the future as well, really trying to, your life and your job is stressful enough. Do you need to worry about how you're going to afford kid two's birthday? Does that make sense? So I'll be really thinking about those things, but really please make sure that you're taking care of yourself and making sure that you're doing what makes you happy. This debt, it depends on how important that debt is to you. Does it feel like a weight around your shoulders? If so, I'd start snowballing that and getting rid of that as quickly as possible. However, you might be happy just paying the minimums. It might be absolutely fine. And an emergency fund is a must. You never know what is around the corner, and you need to do that, in my opinion. So that's what I'd be doing. So I would be happy with a leftover 1711. Building towards a buffer throughout the year. I'd be very strict with myself in this scenario, and I'd really spend time having a really good think about what is important. So yeah, if you do the work here and here, you can do this. Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals, thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love, make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe, and if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. I really hope you liked this video, and I hope you liked what I did. I think I might make it a bit more interactive for the next video, like show my face in it a bit more throughout and talk to the camera a bit more, but hopefully we do some fun stuff with this. Let's just see how this video goes, and make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe. Make sure you boost this video as much as you can, so that if you like it, I get to do more, because if it flops, I might not. If you would like me to take a look at your budget, please click on the link below. It is a completely anonymous Google form. Please give me as much information as possible, and if I can, I will do a video about it. Thank you so much for the anonymous person who submitted this. I hope you found it useful, but it was not financial advice. Thank you so much to all the patrons who support me. Thank you to all the channel members who support me. If you would like to support me on one of those levels, please take a look at the link in the description. You will not regret it, bestie. But that is it. I will see you in the next video. Until then, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. And bestie, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.